Buy-to-let or rental properties have long been a go-to investment for those seeking to earn passive income for decades. However, the landscape is evolving and investors are increasingly exploring alternatives to investing in property. In this video, I'm going to look at the ins and outs of property investments, the benefits, challenges, and most importantly, consider alternative investment avenues that may offer better returns and fewer headaches. So let's get into it. Okay, firstly, property investing. What do I mean? I'll keep this very short. When you own a buy-to-let property, you rent it out to produce a rental return and income stream. And for decades, buy-to-let has been an immensely popular method of investing in the UK residential property market. According to Uswitch in 2022, consumer buy-to-let mortgages are estimated to be worth around 955 billion quid, showcasing its popularity. The pros and cons of a buy-to-let property investment. Well, contrary to the glamorous passive income baby image portrayed by some people on social media, rental properties are not the money printers they're made out to be. However, they do offer some key advantages over other investments. That said, just take the claims you hear with a sizable dose of skepticism. These are some of the things that make buy-to-let properties appealing. The first one is capital growth. While property prices may rise and fall, over the long term, the value of your property may increase and provide you with a profit when you come to sell it. Income generation. By renting out property, your tenants will pay your mortgage for you, and you should be able to secure a relatively stable monthly income and control over your investment. You can crunch the numbers and be pretty certain about the figures with a buy-to-let property, unlike more speculative investments.
3 words for you: treat yourself.
Owning a rental property demands consistent attention and active management. Despite what social media suggests, it's not the passive endeavour where you can simply let it be and enjoy the benefits. Even if the idea of bringing in a letting agent to fully manage the property tempts you, it's crucial to recognise that being a landlord involves a comprehensive understanding of various responsibilities, like legislation. There are hundreds of pieces of legislation that are ever changing, and if you're not on top of it, you could be prosecuted. Even for something as trivial as damping the property. Recent regulation is much in favour of tenants, such as the Renters Reform Bill, which means landlords have less and less control over their investment. Dealing with tenants. In an ideal world, it would be great if there are only honest, well-behaved tenants, but sometimes you can find yourself misled and having to deal with what may be politely termed as problem tenants. They could trash the place or refuse to pay rents, which will only drain you of your time and money. Maintaining the property, wear and tear remedial works are the landlord's responsibility, as well as any sanitation, gas and electrical safety, energy efficiency and structural repairs that could rack up some serious and possibly unforeseen costs. Just think about how that new roof is going to impact your return.
Treat yourself.
And void periods. There'll be times when there isn't a tenant in the property, such as during refurbishments or between tenancies. These periods could be costly and may even completely fuck the business case for the investment. You could appoint a letting agent to find the tenants and collect rent. Typically, this is going to cost about 10% of the monthly rent, and even more if you'd like them to handle tenants' problems and queries. These are just a few things that I could think of off the top of my head that anyone considering a buy-to-let property must take into account. As well as that, there are other factors to consider, such as the mortgage, insurance costs, negative equity and interest rates, plus a load more. Okay, but you might be thinking, why would you consider alternatives to property investing when it's been such a staple asset in the portfolios of many investors? The returns must be worth it. With a fully leveraged buy-to-let property and all the money you've invested, including your mortgage deposit, refurbishment costs and legal fees, the average gross rental yield for a newly purchased buy-to-let property in England and Wales has actually reached a record high of 7.2%, according to a representative of Hamptons. This is an increase from 6.7% in 2023 and 6.2% in 2022, primarily driven by rents rising faster than house prices. Stats from Finder.com show that landlords' net returns have been affected by higher mortgage interest rates. In April 2024, the average yearly return on a buy-to-let property was just over £5,000, down from about £9,500 in April 2020. This decline is attributed to the increased mortgage interest payments, which rose from approximately £256 in April 2020 to £830 in April 2024. Unless it's the perfect property that I got at the perfect price, with the ideal tenant demographic, a return less than 10% seems subpar when factoring the additional costs and hassles that I've mentioned so far. Okay, so it's a major talking point in the realm of property on social media, HMO. short for house of multiple occupation. Essentially, it's a method to maximise the earnings from a single property by transforming it into separate rooms available for individual rent. Together, these rooms often yield more income compared to renting out the entire property as a standard buy-to-let. Now that sounds appealing, doesn't it? However, it's crucial to be aware that while HMOs can offer enhanced yields, they also bring about stricter regulations, increased initial expenses, and potential challenges in securing mortgages or financing. As an alternative to traditional buy-to-let property investing, we actually recently explored the possibility of investing in a HMO through a property sourcer. The project entailed converting a 3-bed property into a 4-bed, 4-ensuite HMO, and they estimated an upfront cost of £92,000, excluding any bridging finance costs. According to their calculations, the 4 rooms promised an annual return of 20% on the £55,000 that would have been tied up in the property, assuming a mortgage rate of 3.5%. At the time of recording this video, a quick internet search shows that HMO mortgage rates hover around 4.7 to 6%, reducing the return on this HMO to approximately 13%. Their analysis also disregards occupancy rates. If each of those rooms remains vacant for 1 or 2 months annually, while it's beneficial that the other rooms obviously still generate income, an occupancy rate of 80 to 85% would further diminish the already modest return. In my opinion, it's no surprise that landlords are considering alternatives to property investing. As of January 2025, a significant number of landlords are contemplating selling their rental properties. A survey by the Deposit Protection Service revealed that 47% of landlords are considering selling some or all of their portfolios, with 89% of these citing changes in legislation or regulation as the primary motivation. In recent years, buy-to-let landlords have faced so many challenges. Regulatory changes designed to enhance tenant protections and improve property standards have squeezed profit margins. The phased reduction of mortgage interest relief, combined with a higher stamp duty subcharge on additional properties, has added to the financial strain. As well as that, the government's push for improved energy efficiency standards has introduced higher costs and added regulatory obligations. The upcoming Renters Reform Bill, which is expected to abolish Section 21 no-fault eviction notices, will further reshape the landlord-tenant relationship by imposing stricter property management requirements. Market conditions have also undermined the profitability of buy-to-let investments. The decline in interest cover ratio, a key measure of a landlord's ability to meet mortgage payments, highlights rising borrowing costs. At the same time, the need for substantial deposits when purchasing a rental property has created a higher financial barrier for prospective investors. And collectively, these factors have led to a significant contraction in the buy-to-let market, with fewer new mortgages being issued and landlords reevaluating their portfolios. Look, you might just think that I'm rambling and hating on buy-to-lets, but none of this detracts from the asset class of property as a whole, which is one of the most resilient and impactful that investors can consider. While buy-to-let properties have held a strong position in many experienced investors' portfolios to date, an array of alternative options is available for those looking to increase their exposure to property without involvement in the buy-to-let market, with the potential to generate income or capital growth, and in some instances, both. Large property developers are seeking funds through crowdfunded property investment platforms to help finance their developments for fixed annualised returns of 12 to 20% annually, outperforming most mainstream investments. They raise funds through various means, usually in the form of mezzanine finance, which fills the gap in project funding. This offers investors potentially high returns yet only intermediate risk. You can read more about mezzanine finance in our blog at pfcapital.co.uk. No hassle, zero tenants, free from buy-to-let regulation, no crazy upfront project costs or any volatile loans looming over you. You simply lend them the funds over an agreed term, and you can take quarterly income or a lump sum on project completion, depending on what that investment offers. Some developers even offer security should they default on the loan. There are various platforms available to invest in these types of projects as an alternative to buy-to-let investments. Some developers have their in-house platforms exclusively for their projects, and there are specialist platforms that raise funds for several developers and projects. These platforms offer you the chance to be part of some huge developments, all with the benefits of owning a buy-to-let property without the drawbacks. These platforms have been a valuable tool for boosting our investment returns, but thorough research and due diligence are essential before selecting one. We've invested in several of them and had mixed experiences. If you'd like to find out a bit more, head over to our website at pfcapital.co.uk, like, subscribe and follow us on all the socials to stay up to date on our investments with these platforms. But that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.
Treat yourself.